This is Hawk Talk number 16. We're talking about today, are you free? So, I want to go over a little bit of, background. I know, the last couple have been kind of about that competition. Obviously, that's over with, and on to new and better things. So, a couple weeks ago, actually, about a month or so ago, back at the end of October, I was actually laid off. And I think that this, was an interesting experience for me. Just the fact that I've been laid off before, I've quit jobs before, but it was I had a different mental experience, or a different feel for those situations. So, this last time, it's kind of interesting. Again, I'm working with a lot of young guys and gals coming right out of school. And one of the things that I noticed was that they were all really on thin ice, freaking out a little bit, and were really scared that they were going to lose their job. And it was kind of weird. I don't know if this had to do with my mental dedication to the competition that was about to come up or what, but I really wasn't fazed at all. I wasn't scared, I wasn't nervous, I didn't have any anxiety. Sure, I thought about it. What would happen if I, if I walk in tomorrow to the work and I don't have a job? And I always try to keep my feelers out there for anything that, maybe some interesting things that maybe I could get myself into if that did happen. But it was weird because everybody else was kind of freaking out and I was completely calm and nonchalant. Now, I think part of that I thought that, being that I have a little bit of an ego, I thought, well, I can't get rid of the hawk, right? Which is wrong. Don't think that. Everybody can be replaced. So, I think that's kind of, in sports, in sales, and whatever, once you get to that point where you don't think that you can be replaced, that's generally the time where you need to take a step back and say, okay, I can be replaced. There's always somebody coming up, working harder, or trying to work harder. So, that sometimes can be used as for inspiration to continue to work. But I just thought it was interesting because previously when that happened, I would kind of freak out, internally. How am I going to pay for rent? How am I going to buy food? How am I going to pay for gas to put in, so I can go to interviews? I don't even have a suit that fits. How am I going to afford a suit that fits when, I don't have any money because I'm not having an income? So, I just thought that was interesting. I think that that's probably due to experience. And also, I really believe that it had to do with, self-awareness and confidence. And the ability to destroy the naysayer within myself. I think that's the biggest thing that most humans deal with, is that internal self-doubt, that internal you can't do that mental conditioning that says let's just go back to the way it was. It's so much easier. Tony Robbins always talks about, and I had a Hawk Talk that talked about this too, where progress equals happiness. So there's different ways that you can look at things, and if I wasn't the best fit at this last company, then perhaps it was meant to be, and there's better things in the future. A lot of people could look at it the other way, right? Oh, woe is me, I don't know what to do now, I don't blah 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 blah, blah, cry me a river. So with that being said, I think it had a couple different things that were different than 10 years ago for me. I've grown a lot since then. I have a lot more mental strength, I believe. My mental conditioning is better, and I also am aware that uncomfortable situations typically are the way that you want to go, or the path that you want to go, at least for me. So those are the kind of things, that I really tried to, focus on. I really didn't have to, because like I said, I really feel confident within myself. So working on your confidence, making mistakes so that you can get that experience, that real life experience, as opposed to looking at a textbook. And I think that, Gary Vaynerchuk said it the best, it's a really difficult thing to do, to not care about what anybody else says, as long as you believe it and you value it and you're 100%, but at the same time, listen to all opinions and care tremendously. So it's an interesting dynamic that's on the far right and the far left, and you really have to try to be in the middle. Now, this could take a whole lifetime to figure out, and to be honest, I bet you a lot of people will never get it. So that's what I would say to you guys. If you guys can be aware and respectful to opinions of other people, whatever the case is, but also at the same time, don't care what anybody else says, because you're an individual, you are special, you've got strengths that some people just won't ever have. So you've got to harness those and really really ride those until you get that next position or that next role or that promotion or whatever the case is. Pats are on a roll, baby. T. Brady with 200 wins. Over 200 wins. I got the Hawk Talk helmet going on the Christmas tree. Christmas tree lights. It's raining. It's snowing. It's New England. I'm going to talk to you next time.
What if tomorrow never comes? Don't let it slip away. This is my world now. I can't let you bring me down. Let this new faith guide me through, and things will come my way. Burn it down, join the line. Eyes will see again.
As a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely? All type of knowledge ultimately means self-knowledge. Listen, you see, really, to me, okay, to me, ultimately, martial art means honestly expressing yourself. Oftentimes people come up and say, hey Bruce, are you really that good? I said, well, if I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying. But, all right, going back to be truthful with you, let's just put it this way. I have no fear of opponent in front of me, but I'm very self-sufficient, that they do not bother me. And that should I fight, should I do anything, I have made up my mind, and that's it, baby. You better kill me before. It's very difficult to do. I mean, it is easy for me to put on a show and be cocky, and be flooded with a cocky feeling and then feel like pretty cool and all that. Or I can make all kinds of phony things, you see what I mean? Blinded by it. Or I can show you some really fancy movement. But to express oneself honestly, not lying to oneself, and to express myself honestly, that, my friend, is very hard to do. And you have to train. You have to keep your reflexes so that when you want it, it's there. When you want to move, you're moving. And when you move, you are determined to move. Not taking 1 inch, not anything less than that. If I want to punch, I'm gonna do it, man, and I'm gonna do it, you see. So I mean, so that is the type of thing you have to train yourself into it, to become one. I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
You still think of yourself Chinese, or do you ever think of yourself as North American?
You know what I want to think of myself? As a human being. Because, I mean, I don't want to sound like, as Confucius say, but under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.